and thank you for attending today's webinar. I am Vasif Syed, and I am a pre-sales engineer here at 42 Gears Americas. I'm excited to discuss the most important enhancements introduced in SureMDM by 42 Gears during 2019. You will come out of this webinar ready to harness the full potential of SureMDM. 2019 was a busy year for us, and I have a lot to share today. We've added a lot of exciting features, but I was able to reduce it down to the top 10 features from 2019, plus one bonus that we will see at the end. As of today's date, February 20, the latest version of SureMDM is 6.51. Everything we are going to discuss today is included in this version. So once the webinar ends, you can jump right in. One thing before we start. Please submit any questions you have in the question panel box on the right-hand side of your screen. We will have a Q&A session towards the end of the webinar. All right, let's get started with our top 10 new features in SureMDM. First off, we'll be looking at features that help you manage new endpoints. The first big feature on our list today is things management. You might be familiar with Unified Endpoint Management solutions like SureMDM supporting traditional endpoints such as PCs, laptops, tablets, smartphones, wearables, and much more. They run on one of a few major operating systems, so bringing more of them into your network is generally straightforward. However, there are many endpoints in the office that don't run on a major operating system, such as printers, cash registers, scanners, and many others. These devices interact with the parent's smart device via Bluetooth, USB, or Wi-Fi. These devices perform very specific functions. We call them not so smart devices, or more simply, just things. 42 Gears Things Management Framework allows our customers to manage these not so smart devices by introducing a smart logic at the host machine level, which serves the role of a proxy for these endpoints. Here's an example. You can take a printer and enroll it into SureMDM, where it shows up just like any other smart device. An administrator can then manage and monitor it along with all the other smart devices you would normally use. Let's see a quick demo of how things management works. What you're looking at is the main landing page of our SureMDM web console. As you can see, I've got a TC51 enrolled, and with it are a bunch of not so smart devices. I also have another TC52 that has an inbuilt scanner and a smart battery listed as its child device. Let's take a look at the Zebra printer. The console tells you a lot of useful information about the device, including the name of the parent device, the firmware version, Bluetooth name of the device, which is an editable field, and of course, the model name of the device. It also tells you if this printer is out of paper. We can also upgrade the firmware of the printer from our MDM console. Simply enter the URL link of the firmware file. Now, let's take a quick look at the DataLogic Smart Battery. When I select the device, I see the name of the parent device. I see the overall health of the battery. I see the total remaining battery capacity. So you get a lot of good information. Next, let's take a look at the HP LaserJet printer. It tells me a lot of useful information, such as how many pages the printer has printed so far, how long has the printer been active for, and the type of cartridges and their particular toner levels. Moving on, the next new endpoint management capability on our list is the VR headset management. If you've seen our previous webinars, you might be aware of this feature. VR devices have a major positive impact across industries. For example, a major pharmaceutical company uses our solution to lock down their VR headsets to one environment, push content, and update their application on their devices. They do this in order to get better control of their devices once they're out in the field, and also to secure them so that the end user is only using the headset for a dedicated purpose. If you'd like to follow their footsteps, you need to optimize VR devices for device deployment, content distribution, and device management. SureMDM will help you remotely deploy and manage VR devices and distribute content to these devices, just like any other smart device. For example, you can remotely view a VR device's screen, lock down the headset into one or a few apps, push content, and remotely configure Wi-Fi settings. Now, let's take a look at some enhancements to SureMDM's feature set. Microsoft has mandated that older Windows devices upgrade to Windows 10, and last month, all support for Windows 7 stopped. This has put companies that relied on Windows 7 workstations in a very difficult spot because they won't get any security updates, and if a device breaks, it cannot be easily replaced, among many other challenges. SureMDM offers a full form tool application that lets you migrate legacy Windows devices to the SureMDM console by syncing groups and group policies from your Active Directory. The migration of legacy devices can be done in the four following steps: creating policies in the AD server, syncing of these created policies with the SureMDM console, setting up SAML authentication on the SureMDM console side, and enrolling Windows devices through EMM enrollment. Next up, we've strengthened our email management by enforcing stricter policies designed to prevent data loss. This provides more security no matter where someone is accessing an inbox from. SureMDM's mobile email management, or MEM for short, supports on-premise, cloud, and hybrid mobile email infrastructures on Android, iOS, and Windows. Let me walk you through the data loss features for each of these platforms in brief. On Android devices, MEM can prevent sharing of corporate emails to personal email, prevent opening corporate email attachment from personal apps, disabling screen capture, and disabling copy-paste between work and personal profiles. On an iOS and iPados device, MEM can disable screenshot and screen recording, restrict document sharing between managed and unmanaged destinations, disable AirDrop as an unmanaged destination. And on Windows, MEM can prevent screen capture and prevent copy pasting of sensitive information. Let's move on to the next feature, which is Apple's new user enrollment feature. User enrollment is a tool for making employee-owned devices safe to be used in an enterprise setting. You can create a dedicated managed Apple ID and make sure business data remains inside a secure container. We rolled out support for user enrollment on iOS and iPadOS last year. User enrollment limits what MDM solutions like SureMDM can access on employee-owned devices. It also streamlines interactions between SureMDM and Apple devices. Admins can create profiles and manage different restriction policies such as passcode policies, approved application policies, Wi-Fi configurations, and much more. You can push these policies as profiles to your employee-owned iOS and iPadOS devices. Next, let's take a look at blocking content and generating reports with SureFox. SureFox is 42 Gear's secure browsing solution that lets admins control what websites users can and cannot visit. In 2019, we improved SureFox. Now you can filter and block content by keywords. You can make sure users do not access off-topic or adult content on dedicated work or educational Android devices. Setting up these restrictions is pretty straightforward. Just select the option to add keywords and block access. If someone accesses a website with those keywords, SureFox will deny access and let the user know about the content filtering. We have also added the ability to generate custom reports at any time. So you can request analytics about how SureFox is being used and send it straight to your SureMDM console for review. Using this simple programming, you can even generate keywords blocking analytics so that you understand how effective your keyword filters are. Now, let's discuss new ways that SureMDM integrates with other popular software. First, let's look at Office 365 and SureMDM. Microsoft Office is the go-to solution for over 120 million business users worldwide who use it for word processing, making spreadsheets, and much more. Office 365 offers a number of security tools, but you need to make sure you utilize them effectively, and SureMDM can help you with that. You can now configure Office 365 email and applications using SureMDM, just like any other email client or applications across Android, iOS, and Windows. On employee-owned devices, businesses can use SureMDM to prevent anyone sharing or leaking Office 365 data to personal apps. Next up is Splunk integration for data loss. Data is a key business asset, and handling it wisely is essential. SureMDM now works with Splunk, a popular tool for SIEM, or Security Information and Event Management. Splunk monitors and analyzes an enterprise's network and hardware activities, so you can make better decisions about managing your devices. SureMDM can send its system activity and device logs to Splunk periodically, which lets Splunk's analytics be as accurate as possible. Moving on to Zebra's LifeGuard. If you've used Zebra's rugged devices, you may know that Zebra's LifeGuard program extends device lifecycle by providing necessary updates for years after Zebra stops selling a given device. Zebra customers who use SureMDM can now gain more control over distribution of Zebra's LifeGuard updates using the SureMDM console. Admins can now track the LifeGuard software installed on each Zebra device and make sure every device is up to date. By making sure that LifeGuard updates are deployed correctly, SureMDM helps you maximize the benefits of LifeGuard over-the-air updates. Let's take a quick look of how you would perform LifeGuard over-the-air updates using SureMDM. As you can see, I've got a Zebra TC51 enrolled that is running Android 8.1. First, you would go into account settings. and go to firmware updates on the left side. Select LifeGuard over-the-air updates and authorize the device token with the Zebra servers. Once done, you can go back into Home, go into Tags, where tags will automatically be created for devices that are available for updates. Select the tag and it will show you all the Zebra devices that need an update. Then you can click on the arrow button and it will list down all firmware updates. It tells you the operating system version and the type of update, whether it is a patch or a full update. It also tells you the name of the firmware version and also gives you access to the release notes of that particular firmware. Select the update that you want to deploy on your device and hit Next. Here, you will have the ability to force the firmware update on your devices or to schedule them to be deployed at a certain time. Our last feature on this list is Samsung Knox Enterprise Firmware Over-the-Air Updates, or eFOTA updates for short. Many businesses use Samsung Knox's security features on compatible devices, and eFOTA adds onto this by silently pushing the latest firmware onto them. To make sure nothing goes wrong, admins can even test these updates before deploying them, ensuring compatibility between in-house apps and new operating system updates. SureMDM now works with Samsung Knox eFOTA. Using the SureMDM console, admins can easily manage which firmware updates to push to each Samsung device. After registering Samsung Knox eFOTA with SureMDM, admins will notice changes in their SureMDM accounts tags, device grids, and dashboard. This concludes our top 10 list. There's a lot more to SureMDM. And to learn more, please visit www.42gears.com. I had mentioned one last thing that I had to discuss. It's a partnership that we are very excited about, and it is the topic of our very next webinar. In 2019, we partnered with Intel so that SureMDM could now support Intel AMT vPro's out-of-band management. As the name suggests, Intel vPro provides AMT, or active management technology, on compatible devices. This lets our customers gain more control over their Intel vPro PCs, digital displays, and point-of-sale machines than ever before. Here's what AMT makes possible. You can gain complete control over your compatible endpoints on Windows and Linux machines. You can also power on these devices that have been powered off and create event and audit logs. Please register now for our joint webinar with Intel, which is going to take place next month. We will be sending out registration links once we confirm the date, so please stay tuned. Let's take a quick demo of SureMDM's integration with Intel AMT vPro. At a quick glance, it gives you a lot of useful information about the device's status of the Intel's chip on the device. Next, let's take a look at the active features and then move on to power operations. You're able to perform power controls on both the hardware and the OS level. And you're also able to boot the computer to the setup utility, currently if it is powered off. Let's take a look at the remote desktop. This gives you access to the live screen of the device and where you're able to enter text as well as make touch-based click events. Let me show you how easy it is to perform power operations. I can go ahead and select the power down button from the hardware power control, and it will power off my device. Thank you for attending our webinar. It's now time to answer questions that were submitted during the session. If you haven't added your question in the question panel box, now is the time. I will give everybody a minute to ask any final questions you may have. Okay, so I have my first question here. What if you haven't made a Things connector for my Office products? Do I submit a request? Great question. So the Things connector technology allows for custom development. So you can make almost any electronic device that is part of your network that connects to your workstations, either using Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or USB. And all you would need for that is a connector, which we will develop for you. So you can make it part of your SureMDM system. The second question that I see here is, are there any specific requirements for devices to start using iOS user enrollment? To be honest, there aren't many. The iPhone or iPad should be running on iOS 13 and above, and MacBooks and Mac machines should be running on macOS Catalina or above. They should have a managed Apple ID and should be unsupervised. I see a question. 42 Gears supports management and deployments for Windows 10, macOS, and Linux. Definitely, yes. So we support multiple operating systems, which is Windows, Mac, Linux machines, as well as regular Android, iOS devices, iPadOS devices. Do you need SureMDM to use SureFox? No. So SureFox is available a la carte and is available for purchase separately on Android devices, but it also comes bundled with SureMDM. Will this work with wireless printers and how to connect? Yes. So as long as the printer has access to either a Wi-Fi network or can be connected to a parent device using Bluetooth, we will provide you with a connector, and you can leverage that and enroll your printers into the SureMDM console. That's all the time we have for questions today. I realize there were a few more questions that I did not have time to answer. We will reply to your questions via email as soon as possible. If you have any more questions, please feel free to send us an email at webinars@42gears.com or visit our website at www.42gears.com. Thank you, everyone. If you would like to rewatch components of this webinar, we will upload it to YouTube in a few weeks. Thank you so much.